Yeah, you know what? You were right all those years, Aaron, about streaming. It was never going to end well.
Yeah, I tried to warn you, but
You predicted that?
I just, cable was just the superior method of viewing television and movies. But people said I was crazy, living in the past, get with the times. Now look at me.
Interesting.
2-time fantasy football champion. I predict the future.
You won in another league?
Yeah, I won in 2 leagues. I was at my grandma's for Hanukkah, so we're singing, lighting the candles. Meanwhile, my team's just going fucking bananas. Felt like Michael Corleone at the end of Godfather.
Yeah, in that league that you won with us, Aaron, I came in last place. So not a good year. I had 5 people on the IR. So, but I did win another league, and then I lost in the championship in another. So,
well,
I made out like a bandit.
It's good, but it's not winning.
Well, I have one. I have one, and I won that league before that we played in. So I definitely love that all of you all of a sudden, now that I come in last place, that there's got to be a punishment this year.
I mean, it was always you have to eat the hot chip.
Of course, now this year, you, Teddy. Well, you know what, Aaron? You did have my back. You did have my back. I'll give you that. But Teddy, Clint, all them, they were all like, yeah, Nash has to do this. He's got to eat a hot chip. When I'm dealing with like stomach ulcers over here. Like, I'm not doing a hot chip.
I think the parlay idea is good. I think.
Yeah, I'd rather give you the whole chat $100 parlay. I mean, that's gonna suck if that hits. That is definitely gonna suck.
Well, we'll see. I'll start mapping it out. But
you don't think I'm gonna put the fucking giant kibosh on that and take that with you guys because I'm a walking black cloud.
I've been betting with Teddy recently, and it's not a fun experience.
Yeah, and you always know that if someone you're going against, he starts to name legends that like these mediocre players are playing like.
Yeah. We put it like in an 8-legger. To win like 1,000 each, and we lost it by 1 yard from Mike Evans.
Oh my God.
It was terrible.
I would have thrown up.
Yeah, but that's the game, you know?
Yeah. And then they would say like, who'd the Bucks just play recently this week? They played the Panthers, right?
The Saints.
The Saints. Okay. He would be like, oh, I didn't know the Saints were the 85 Bears defense. I'm sorry. Somebody should have warned me.
He does do that.
Teddy will do that after one bucket if he's watching a Knicks game. Like the other team hits a shot. Like, oh, they're the 75 Lakers?
Yeah, every time.
He called Michael Carter prime Edgerrin James.
Wow.
I think he called Justice Hill Walter Payton.
No, I made that up. He hasn't got ball knowledge like that.
I was going to say, yeah. I was like, Teddy seems surprised by everything.
He doesn't got 2000s Colts in his bag. Maybe Joseph Adai, but he doesn't go back to Edgerrin James.
Joseph Adai, what a name drop.
Joseph Adai, yeah. Solid. Never great, but dependable.
Yo, quick flash round between us. Who's going to the Super Bowl and who's winning it? Start of the playoffs. Go.
Baltimore.
Is going to win it?
Yeah.
Who are they going to beat?
Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying same 2 in the Super Bowl, but the Lions win it. I want the Ravens to win.
Why do you want the Ravens to win? You're all about Lamar Jackson?
Well,
I like Lamar.
Future, but bias aside, I think they'll win too.
Lions win 27-24. You heard it here first.
It's going to be Chiefs Eagles.
Oh yeah, Chiefs are going to win again. I don't know who we're kidding.
Well, I would say Happy New Year, but according to Larry David, that's past.
Yep, can't do it anymore.
So we might as well just get into the review. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the first episode of Nerd Soup of 2025. I'm Reuben, joined here today with Aaron and Nash, and we're here to review Nosferatu, the highly anticipated horror movie. Really the movie that's ending off 2024, which I think has been a good year for movies. And before we get into the actual movie, you guys can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on social medias at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey, at Anthony JQ Nash. And yeah, guys, how are you? How's the new year treating you so far?
Nothing's really changed. Still the same. Just another day.
Yeah, it's a little colder, I guess.
Oh God, it is very cold.
It's been brutal. I don't know if you
The
guys.
wind is scary.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were standing outside for like longer than like 5 minutes today. Good Lord.
Yeah, I went into the backyard with my dog, and I was like, "Yeah, let's wrap this up." I was going to throw the ball a little bit, but it was too cold.
You know it's cold when you're getting gas, and instead of filling it up, you stop at like $10. Like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I just need enough to get where I'm going at this point. I'll worry about it later.
Live to tell the tale another day. Survive the battle, Aaron. That's it.
How about you?
I was going to start singing like a war song. Are you asking me?
Yeah, you asked us. I thought it would be only nice to ask you. I don't care, but you know,
it does feel like New Year really it hits for me. I don't know why, because it's still the winter. It's like just the middle of the winter. We're like, oh, the year's new. It should be spring, Chinese New Year. But it always does feel weird. It's all arbitrary, but I've bought in. I've bought into the illusion.
I thought we were getting rid of daylight savings. What the fuck is this about?
Well, no, apparently, not to get political, but when they say get rid of daylight savings, they mean keep it the way it is now. I didn't know this. I thought we were going to like daylight till 7, 8 o'clock. No, they're keeping early morning. So like when it comes time to spring forward, we're not going to move up an hour. So in the summers, it's going to get dark at like 7 o'clock.
So they want everybody depressed.
Pretty much.
Huh.
I was under the impression they were going to keep daylight later on in the day, which I'm all for, but this other way, not for me.
But are they even doing that? Or are we going to flip the clocks, or what's the deal?
Who knows? I think after we get Canada.
Well, I was going to say, not to get even more political, but when we get Greenland, they say in central Greenland, the sun never sets. So
beautiful. That's nice.
Get that midnight sun.
I was planning on moving to the Gulf of America, but I guess I'll go to Greenland instead.
Yeah, the empire's growing.
We can move on, but I'm just so confused. Like one day I just went back on Twitter and apparently like I just saw Canada connected to the United States. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Why is this happening?
He's really like, you guys thought my first term was funny. Just fucking watch this.
And then I saw one, it was Canada and Mexico, but they split America. So I don't know what's going on.
Wow, we'd be South Canada.
Oh, I don't like that.
I feel like New York just needs to be sovereign.
I don't like that one bit.
I just don't like being referred to as the South.
Unless it's North. Korea.
Yeah, then South is good.
Whole world's turned upside down over there. North is South, South is North.
Madness.
Yeah, no, but Nosferatu. Transylvania, that's another fun place. But yeah, as I said, Nosferatu, it's a movie that we all watched, and a lot of people are watching it. It's making a lot of money at the box office, which is awesome. I mean, especially because it's a movie that we thought wasn't going to come out. It was a passion project for Eggers, and he managed to get it made. It's being critically acclaimed, and it's making lots and lots of money. So I'll start with one of you guys. Whoever wants to start. What did you guys think of Nosferatu?
Aaron, do the honors.
All right. I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously we've talked about like Eggers in the past and just how big of fans we are with him, but I guess with The Lighthouse really made me appreciate his work as like a technical director, especially when it comes to his use of like lighting and shadows. And I honestly think that was the star of the show. And then reading up on it, seeing how a lot of the scenes were lit with candlelight, especially in an era where it seems like that's the biggest film criticism for a lot of these big budget blockbuster movies, is that they just don't know how to properly light their films. Like, this is just a masterclass. So the whole tone set by that aspect, I think, helped me really just buy in to everything else that was going on the screen. And I thought the performances were excellent. Lily Rose Depp, I think, is definitely the standout. And I mean, we've always talked about it, just how like horror performances always get overlooked for some reason by award shows, but it really is ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, it's surprising for a movie like this.
Right, because it's not like your typical horror movie where it's the, generic horror movie that is built to get young people in the theaters, because that seems to be like one of the only genres of film that actually makes money. But with a director like him, a story like this, like kind of this, all the attention it's getting from critics and fans, you if anything was going to kind of break through, you kind of thought it would be this one. But I dug it a lot. I wasn't really, I haven't watched a silent film. I don't know. And I haven't seen, what's his name's version, German Baby Yoda guy. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Herzog.
Yeah. So I really didn't know like the story going into it. I knew it was like a Dracula derivative, but so I was kind of going in blind on that aspect and kind of just was waiting to see how it all played out and if it was your typical vampire story. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some great horror elements. Like I said before, the lighting and the shadows really helped me feel immersed in there, where I was kind of, looking around edges with the characters, trying to see what was in the background maybe. And I don't know if it's one of his better works, but I think for a 2-hour horror thriller type movie, it was definitely entertaining, and I enjoyed it for the most part. There were a couple things story wise that I think could have played out a little bit better, and especially towards maybe the last part of the movie, but very minor criticisms across the board. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just start off by saying this man is 4 for 4. All right, he has not missed.
Yeah, I know you love The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse is possibly my favorite film of all time. Just to piggyback on what Aaron says, the cinematography and the shots that he has and the lighting of not just this movie alone, but all of them are just like, I think that's what makes me really enjoy his work. But also too, this guy gets the best out of every single actor, actress in all of his films. And I think this film in particular got the best acting out of all of them. I mean, you could go all across the board with everybody that was there. The acting was incredible, and it looks like that he might have found his muse, his flame in Willem Dafoe.
60-year-old man.
Right. Ironically enough. But he doesn't miss either. It doesn't matter what Dafoe does. He does not miss. And
he really lends to his style. I think they're a perfect match. And it's just such a funny pairing where like everyone's going for maybe like young up and comers to attach themselves to. He's like, yeah, I'm taking the legend.
Yeah. And it's funny. There was a story that Dafoe was saying that he learned that he had a distinct face because he was in a subway in New York City. And he overheard someone say, "That's got to be him, man. Nobody looks like that motherfucker." Like it doesn't, it's Willem Dafoe. So, also Skarsgård was probably, I have to imagine that was probably one of his best acting performances. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the biggest of fans, that I know all of his, films and what he's been in, but he was incredible as well.
No, he's the best at playing these weird little guys. We throw that around a lot, like, but he is like the weird guy. Maybe not little, because
not so little when he stands up from that coffin. Like you know what I'm saying?
He looks like he can fucking poop a little.
That boy stood up with some Cialis out the coffin.
Yeah, he's perfect at playing these weird characters, and it's like sometimes you're like, oh, maybe you don't want to get typecast, but for him, it's just like, yeah, if you're great at it, keep fucking doing it. And it's not just like the appearance, because he does have an interesting look to him. It's just the voices and the way I heard him talk about how he was using the breaths and how he came up with the voice for the character. Like he really is just super skilled at that. And I think he's going to have a very, very long and interesting career with some of the choices and characters that like fit his style of acting.
I do believe he said that doing Nosferatu actually fucked him up pretty big, though, that he was getting a lot of nightmares at night. So you always just think about like the mental toll of playing these roles. And with us, we just look at it as like, oh, he's just acting. That probably has to take a toll on him playing such dark and fucked up characters.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
The whole thing.
I mean, it's definitely an emotional toll. It's exhausting.
The whole thing with like Nosferatu too, like it almost seemed that Nosferatu was like the Pepsi compared to Dracula's Coke, and now he's taken over, because how do you come back? I feel like remakes of Dracula have been fucking awful. I mean,
Well,
I could stand corrected on that, but nothing compared to something like this.
like Dracula Untold. Well, I think it's a perfect rebrand, because if I see like a trailer and the end says Dracula, I'm probably going to roll my eyes. I see Nosferatu, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's something different.
little German,
you know?
don't you know?
And shout out SpongeBob.
Yeah, Dracula at this point is so commercialized. Yeah, and SpongeBob.
That's awesome that Eggers actually acknowledges that. That is amazing.
It really did. Like, it just takes that little joke, that throwaway joke, for an entire generation, almost literally 100 years after the movie came out, for him to be that iconic. Obviously, he was, he's an icon of film, but for our generation, literally everybody of our age group already knew who Nosferatu was because of one joke. And it's just, shout out to the writers on SpongeBob.
Yeah. Talk about somebody that doesn't miss either.
He's a canon. He's like in SpongeBob canon, like as a worker, as a Krusty Krab.
That's actually so funny.
That's what I always wondered. Like, who's working the shifts at the Krusty Krab when SpongeBob's not working? They never really get into that. And that's what bothers me about Bar Rescue too, because they only show like 6 people on the staff. Meanwhile, there's probably the 20 others. Like, they're not learning how to make the signature cocktails in a new menu.
Huh. It's like Chernobyl when they combined all the scientists into one scientist. It's like, damn, she was doing a lot of science. She had a lot of time on her hands.
Really devoted to her job.
Yeah, but for me, Nosferatu was a movie that I was anticipating, and for whatever reason, it just it didn't work for me. I do want to rewatch it because I feel like I'll possibly like it more on rewatch, but some of the things that you guys liked, I also really did like, especially the technical aspects. I mean, that's something I complained about a lot when we reviewed Wicked. So the natural lighting, the candle lights, Barry Lyndon's one of my favorite movies, and not only because it's hilarious and it's a great story, but because of how good it looks. So the photography is excellent, and Eggers, his movies always have great cinematography. And the Lily Rose Depp performance was pretty incredible. One of my favorite performances of the year. And I think for me, it was on a level and a quality and an energy that the other elements of the film didn't really match. Like, a lot of people love Skarsgård as Orlok. To me, Orlok was just a dud. A lot of people said like his presence permeated throughout the film. And I'm sure for a lot of people it did, that they were creeped out by him and the metaphor of he's the plague, he's bringing the plague. But I just really didn't think much of him when he wasn't in the frame. And Nicholas Hoult is a weird case because I've really liked him in things, and then other times I'm like, is he a good actor?
That was one of my things I was going to say. Him and Aaron Tyler Johnson, I feel like I thought he was great in the scene when he first enters the castle, and just a combination of like what I was talking about before, of like the lighting and the shadow, the way you couldn't really see his face and his reaction, and how he just little by little, the fear just overcomes him to a point where it's so noticeable. I think that was maybe the best sequence in the movie, and he's fantastic in it. But I think once we kind of get back there, him and Aaron Tyler Johnson's characters, I feel like they just weren't given what Lily was. And obviously she's the main character and the driver behind the story. But I just felt like they were kind of on the backlog for the second half of the movie.
Dude, Aaron Taylor Johnson's getting killed for his performance in this, even by people who love the movie, which I didn't think much of him.
I don't think it was a bad performance.
No, he's like being called the worst actor ever because of that. So I'm like, damn. Like for me, he just didn't leave that much of an impression. Like that wasn't my first thought when I came out of the film was, oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson was so bad, or Emma Corrin. I just thought they were there. I kind of felt that about all the performances except Lily Rose Depp.
Aaron Tyler Johnson when he can't take his shirt off, and McDonald's flipping burgers.
Yeah, he's a 8-pack merchant.
Yeah. The thing is, like, he seems like flat when he's supposed to be like, he says he hasn't slept in 2 days, and he's just like staying calm about somebody being like practically possessed in the house. Like, I thought that you would be a little more emotional, and they're telling him,
that's a good point.
How to run his life, and he's just kind of just like,
Well, it's just
No,
melancholy.
I
It's not
want
that
her
big
to
of a deal.
leave. And it's like, yeah, I would think that you would be flipping out a little bit. Like this fucking lady is possessed inside my fucking house. Get her out. And he's just kind of like, no, you're going to have to get her to go, please.
I think my favorite thing now in movies, like especially period pieces, is old-timey medicine and their diagnosis. Like even in Killers of the Flower Moon, it's like, just the melancholy. Like they just had no idea what they were doing.
Case of the blues.
Here's some cocaine. All right.
Yeah, cocaine and an ice cube to suck on.
Yeah, they fucking knocked her out with chloroform too at one point.
Well, that was a funny ass line when he was like, "She'll rave all night, then let her rave."
Someone said that they can't wait to hear that at DJ sets.
Oh, I mean, come on, man. Somebody's got to incorporate that when the fucking beat drops. Willem Dafoe.
Let them rave. Burn, 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 burn.
And I could see Willem Dafoe in that setting, like just absolutely tearing it up. Tight ass tank top.
I'll tell you what, though.
I do like Nicholas Hoult, though. Sorry to cut you off, but like I said, I don't think he was necessarily bad in this movie. But like, I feel like and he typically picks like pretty decent roles too.
Yeah, no, he does.
I love them.
I mean, I love one of my favorite movies of the year, Juror Number 2.
Yeah, I think he was good in that. If you look at like The Favorite, he's one of like
he's best, maybe the best part of The Favorite.
Yeah, definitely one.
Sometimes I think that's a different guy entirely. That's just like a different Nicholas Hoult who only did one movie.
You think it's the first Dario Naharis actor?
Yeah,
They kind of look alike.
They do.
Do you think they were kind of embracing more of the old school acting where it's not like, I don't know really how to describe it, but I just seem like nowadays everyone's kind of over the fucking top and trying to be much of a weirdo. And maybe they're trying to bring an old school element to this since it is a movie that was made in the early 1900s,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think
that was
played some kind of element into it, but like I said, like I know that you guys say that his performance, I don't think it was a bad performance, but that's something I did notice where it's like, you practically have somebody possessed inside your house, and you said that you haven't slept in 2 days. I mean, I don't nap during the day and I get cranky. I can only imagine. I would think that you need a little more fucking emphasis to try and get this possessed demon girl that freaks out every night out of your house. So that I definitely was just like there. But I don't know if that's where Eggers was going to try and make try and get it to that point. I don't know. Because I think Nicholas Holt's like his facial expressions were very very telling as well.
I just thought like the first half was definitely better for me. Like when he's at the castle and she's experiencing everything back home. I thought that's where the movie was really at its best. And then as it moved on, I felt like we were kind of moving around a little too much, where the focus kind of shifted off of the things that I was enjoying to maybe some other things that I wasn't really into. I think once it kind of expanded a little, and I think, we're going to the doctor, then we're going to what William Dafoe's doing, what Nicholas Holt's character is going through. He's sick in bed, and then we're going back to Olaf not Olaf, that's the snowman from Frozen. That's funny. Yeah, I gotta count Olaf combination parody Twitter account. Add that to the list.
Oh, I'm sure he's doing numbers on like NBA Twitter and shit like that.
And he's on the ship coming. That's what I wanted to say before I forget. His little minion guy, awesome. I love that guy.
Yes, yeah.
Who?
That's the shit. He was bugging out.
That's some of the shit I wish they kind of kept going in that kind of on that kind of tone there.
What, his little sidekick?
Yeah,
dude, he was incredible. That's so funny because I was gonna say he might have been the best actor in that movie just with that scene alone with the pigeon.
And it's funny because Nicholas Hoult essentially played. I mean, he did play who that character is based on in the Renfield movie.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, Renfield is another Hoult movie. Decent movie.
Fucking Dracula, man. He needs some PR.
Well, it is because I was reading up on it how it is Dracula, and I think they got sued over it. That's why.
They did.
That's what hurt.
Yeah, no, it is essentially Dracula.
That's what hurt the original movie's like release. So, I mean, there's obviously some minor changes, but yeah, I kind of didn't put that together. I guess it would make sense that they kind of share some of those foundations.
The one thing I did,
like,
I'm sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Nash.
No, just real quick. The one thing that I really enjoyed about this too was looking at like the old movie and the movie recently just made. And the one thing that I really, really liked, I don't know why, is how they just showed the shadow of his hands everywhere, how they did in the old movie compared to this. I just found that very fascinating, where from time to time they did that, and it almost matches the movie that was originally made in the early 1900s. Keep some parody there. I thought it was very good. Very good.
There's some absolutely breathtaking shots. Like you said, the one when his shadow of his hand overtakes the city. When he loses when he's walking to the castle in the snowy fields, the snowy forest. I mean, I would hang that up in my room. Like,
oh yeah.
There were just
with the light.
Yeah. Even like simple scenes, like when he first walks into his job when he's late and kind of walks in and then the shadow kind of overtakes him and then he arrives into the room and it kind of puts a half on his face, like little things like that. That like I was going in trying to pay attention to, because like going off of his previous work, like that's always been my main takeaway, just how he is able to manipulate light in such a wonderful way. So like going into it, trying to look at that, like just certain things he's able to do, even in littler moments, is just incredible. So
yeah, the opening scene, that was beautiful too. When she's saying like basically, she's talking into the camera, and then all of a sudden she's on the ground outside a castle with him on top of her. That was a sick shot right there. Like the background of it, he's the man at it. That seems to be his top notch in movies, where he just gets these beautiful shots.
Yeah, and I think focusing the story on Lily Rose Depp's character was a smart choice, and kind of reworking it a bit. I mean, these elements exist in the other versions too, but her being about, her being tortured by her repression, the sexual repression, and the way she's been treated throughout her life, and the way women were treated in general at this time. A lot of his horror choices for me felt a little tame and safe. When I think of his prior movies, just thinking about The Witch, it's like permanently under my skin. One of my all-time favorite horror movies of all time. And I think that carried over to The Lighthouse and The Northman. There's a yuckiness there. As beautiful as his movies are, they disturb you, they unsettle you. And for this one, it just didn't happen for me. But she was going for it, man. The possession scene to me was the creepiest of the movie. When she's doing that shit with her eyes, I'm like, how is she doing that with her eyes? Apparently it wasn't CGI. So she just threw herself in this performance, threw her entire self into this performance, and very, very impressive.
Yeah, when she's freaking out and doing that shake move, and then she switches up just like that, and then seduce him. Like,
oh yeah, she was torturing that poor man. She's like, please save me. Like, you can never please me like he does.
Yeah.
Damn.
She's like, you could never hit the spots. I like felt that in the bone. I was like, oh my God. This guy Nosferatu is Johnny Castle, apparently. A lot of parodies that can come out of this movie, too. Like, she has a lot of fucking, like, with the eyes rolling and stuff. You could definitely make fun of that at all times, because she does do it, like, a lot in the movie. And then just Nosferatu just being straight up horny for the boys,
Yeah, and then it ends up being like this really, in the end, it's a tragic character, because, she gives herself up. She sacrifices herself for the greater good after struggling with this belief that, she was inherently evil and wicked. And that's why she's drawn to somebody. So, that's why she's drawn to a vampire. So in the end, that final shot, I mean, he always does this with all of his films. He's always leading up to that one last shot that he's going to leave you with.
Yeah.
And even though this might be my least favorite movie of his, I mean, it definitely is. It might be my favorite final shot, because that was awesome. Like those changes of, I'm not going to suck the blood out of your neck. I'm going to just like eat your fucking heart. Like, damn. I wanted more of that. Like that's raw. That's nasty. And I felt like the way a lot of people talked about it, like, man, this movie, I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, you haven't seen his prior movies, I guess. But
yeah,
not to say that like it doesn't have to be that, because it seemed to. But for me, it's like it's working for people in ways that I wanted it to work for me, and I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, I feel like if you look at the Northman, like just the rawness and brutality of some of those, like almost primal in a lot of those moments, those big moments. Maybe it could have used a little bit of that, but yeah, with the horror elements, I feel like it was. I don't want to say hit or miss because I don't think there really were many misses. More so, like there were good ones and then like okay ones. And I don't think
And the
they were-
atmosphere worked for a lot of people. So
Yeah,
like that, when you have that working for people, everything's going to be scary because you're constantly on edge.
but even like the moments of like the rats eating the people, like I was more drawn in by like, you know, when he shows up when she's sleeping in the same bed as her friends, and he shows up, and it's
Right.
kind of like, is he really there? Can she hear them? Like, what's going on here? Like, kind of those scenes were the ones that really locked me in.
Can anyone hit that accent or no?
You have to do the I want to Netflix and chill.
For this guy to even maintain a boner during all of that, for not seeing the sun and you know, sleeping in a coffin and he's not taking care of himself either. So for him to be able to get that thing working like that, kudos.
Yeah, man.
That man jumped out of the casket and started fucking swinging it like a lasso. Fucking wrangling pigs.
You ain't
Like, come here,
kidding,
Hutter.
man. Yeah.
That'd be a funny parody. Penis shy Nosferatu. He comes up, but he's like, has his hands over, and he's like
Yeah.
all hunched over. It's like, don't look.
Pulling it off the floor like a fruit roll up.
Yeah, he was super horny, man.
I the elements of
Oh, it's not you. I just had too much blood to drink. Sorry.
Oh, I slept terribly in my coffin.
It's cold. Come on. We're like in Russia or something. There's snow everywhere. Please. I don't have heat.
Yeah, a lot of people liked the occult stuff, the witchcraft, making it less kind of centered on Christianity and more pagan. Which you know, Eggers has, you know, that's really his first film when they're accused of being a part of the occult. So he loves that shit. And I saw some people being like, oh, you know, I don't like that change. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys. You know, I don't need every fucking iteration of this story to be the same thing. I want people to, especially if it's your passion project, adapt it in the way that you've envisioned it. But for me, it was like, man, you could have leaned even more into that. People were really excited about those elements, but for me, they just kind of came and went. Like when they were with the Romani vagabonds, and were they hunting a vampire? Was that a vampire inside that casket? I don't know, but it's supposed to be, I think, unclear. But it was weird and unsettling, and then, you know, those guys kind of just go away.
Yeah, and they were just laughing at this poor man. Just like that would be like if we did the parody with Nosferatu, like they're all just laughing at Nosferatu's little pecker. Like that's how I see it, you know. There's a lot of angles you could definitely take to make fun of this movie. Like the one thing
Well, did you like the mustache?
Loved it. I know a lot. That's like taking a lot of criticism, right?
I like it too. It's such
I like that too. That he like looks like, you know, a guy that from, you know, Eastern Europe.
Right.
But it's like, I think it's funny because it's like his whole body's decaying, but he just has this.
The mustache is healthy.
It's just, yeah, he's using beard oil.
Dude, yeah, Dollar Shave Club. He's using Hims. That's what he's using. He can maintain a boner and he's got a perfect mustache. Definitely.
I mean, as a man, I don't know what that says about manhood, but that's really all you need sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's hitting it
Lily
right,
Rose
this
Depp.
girl's dreaming about him nonstop. You know, he's doing it.
All right, so that's one thing I'm maybe not confused about, but I feel like I've seen a lot of takes where it's like, it seems to be like set in stone that she is just like, she wants him, whereas I kind of took away it's him and like either manipulation or possession that's causing her to have this attraction to him. Like she woke him up in the beginning, obviously not knowing what the hell she was doing. And from there on, a piece of him was inside her, causing her to have, I don't even want to say feelings. I don't even know if that's what was
connection.
going on there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's definitely ambiguous.
And I'm not saying that because I'm jealous. Okay. I'm not saying because I don't want it to be true, but that's kind of my takeaway. Where I feel like a lot of online discussion around it has been just like, fuck Nicholas Hoult. I want this decaying mustache man.
No, it just kind of symbolizes things in life. You know, when we look at the good things that we have and everything and living the normal life, she would go with Nicholas Hoult. But then, you know, she wants to rebel a bit. She wants to be badass and just get blown out by this guy that's a fucking lunatic. You know, that's just life.
Blown out.
Blown out, yeah. Just getting fucking heart ripped out and sucked on.
Well, people were complaining like, oh, Orlok's not sexy. Like, I want my vampire to be sexy. And then someone was like, the fake monster fuckers when a real monster shows up. And people saying like, oh, you know, it's very relatable to be a young, beautiful woman obsessed with a disgusting old man halfway around the world, especially these days with online relationships. So people were having fun with that. But I think Nash kind of hit the nail on the head when you talk about her rebelling against her position, against this marriage that she finds herself in. It kind of reminds me of Don Draper and Betty Draper a bit. I'm in the midst of a Mad Men watch, but it's the miserable housewife when the husband wants everything to be picture perfect, but he's not perfect in his own right. So she acts out and she rebels in a way that unleashes a monster onto the world. And she doesn't know, oh, is he obsessed with me because I'm inherently evil? Or, you know, is he just a monster preying on an innocent girl? And I think it's the most complicated iteration of this character that we've seen throughout any of the versions. And it's more of an infatuation, a passion that she was missing in her relationship with Hutter. Obviously, more things go into creating a healthy marriage and life between two people. But when that's missing, sometimes you look for it in places that can be very dark and harmful.
But it also goes to show that basically it might have been the first love. And sometimes you can't escape it. But we know it's bad for you. You know, how many times do you see people run back to their exes?
Sure. Right. Where you feel like, you know, once again, I'm inherently a disgusting creature. This is what I deserve. Another disgusting creature. I can't do better than this.
Oh, come on. Oh,
come on, man.
Oh, you guys think I'm cute like Lily Rose Depp? I could be a big star.
Oh, come on, man. No.
No.
And that's why she's a tragic character. And maybe one day I will be too, but my story's not written. Her story, you know, the ink is dry. She's dead. But the push and the pull between them was fascinating.
I feel bad for fictional characters that no one will know their sacrifice. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
She should have a statue.
Oh, fuck her.
The tragic hero.
You know the damage she probably left with this man saying you can't hit the spots that this guy did, and then he walks into both of them dead, basically doing it.
Well, she did it for the greater good.
Yeah, but she did damage telling him, yo, you ain't packing, son.
That wasn't her. That was Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah, right.
He was hyping himself up, which is kind of a lame move.
Stuck in bed.
He was hyping himself up through her as a portal.
I'll tell you what, that man too got right into it in the jiffy. He must have been doing something as well, because she turned around and said that. And I know me personally, I'm done for 2 days. He jumped right back into that thing. Like,
no, that gets you going. Business. You know,
yeah, maybe that's what got him going. I mean, me, I'd be crying under a blanket for probably a day and a half.
Guy like me?
A guy like me? Oh, man. Very good movie, though. Very good. I think Eggers is 4 for 4 for sure.
I thought he was going to do I'll show you, and then just two pump it. It's all right, yeah. You can go. Go to his castle. What do I know?
You know what? Don't write me. I'll write you.
Yeah, and the original Dracula, Hutter gets, or whatever he's named, he gets essentially raped by female vampires.
Oh.
And that happens in the Coppola version. And Dracula's like, no, he's not for you. He's supposed to be for me. And they're like, well, now you can go fuck his wife. And Dracula's like, well, oh, yeah, that is true.
I'm pretty sure in Dracula, doesn't like the girl that Lily Rose Depp play, doesn't she survive?
I think so.
I don't know. That's what somebody told me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think she does. I think she definitely survives in the Coppola one. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, no, it's a different choice there.
Yeah.
Well, this question here, we'll just take a couple questions, end it off from Cam. Not our Cam.
Not our Cam. Oh. All right, so it'll be pretty good.
Well, still our Cam. Cameron. Cameron asks, how does Nosferatu rank among Eggers' other films? I just watched The Northman, and it may be number one for me. Yeah, for me, it's going to be The Witch. I do love The Northman.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, I got to agree with The Lighthouse. But it's like, even if you are the opinion, like if you have the opinion like you do that it's like number 4, like his last, I mean, there's worse movies that could be your worst movie, you know? Like, I think it says more about him as a director.
Yeah, and I think in the grand scheme of things, like Nash has said, like, the public gets to decide if you're 4 for 4, and the public has decided that he is.
I decide that too. He is 4 for 4.
Well, Nash does speak for the people. Many people have said that before. I just said it.
Yes, I'm a man of the people. I don't know where this would rank for me. I keep bouncing. I think The Northman is 4.
That seems to be the answer for most people, because The Northman got accused of being too mainstream and too Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was good. It was still very good. It's just number 4 for me personally.
I know. Yeah, no.
Who said, was that like
a film
Twitter thing?
Oh, yeah. That's all over film Twitter to this day.
God, I fucking hate film Twitter. That's the most film Twitter fucking brain dead take ever. Too mainstream. The fucking Northman. How much did The Northman make? Let's see how mainstream.
Didn't make much at all. I don't even think it made a profit, or if it did, it was very little.
Yeah,
it was a huge budget.
The Northman, $69.6 million worldwide.
Wow, Eggers sold out.
$770 million budget. I just hate mainstream movies. The North, you know. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
All these idiots watching the
Batman versus Superman. The Northman.
Yeah, that's one where I feel like a lot of the things people are saying about Nosferatu, I feel about the Northman. So I'm just a little confused.
I get what people are saying, though. I know what they're not. From my perspective, I don't think they're saying that it's like up there with the kind of movies, but like it's not Robert Eggers' way. But again, the guy made 2 fucking films before that. You know, like it's not like this is, you know, a direction that he has to have. You know, he can switch it up. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I guess just the first 2 movies were so good and they didn't seem like anything else. Maybe just the way he shot things. I don't know.
The Northman being action adventure too.
Right.
I think people being, you know, it's like Eggers does action adventure. You know, why
Sold
not?
Out.
Right. It's not a horror movie. Or a horror thriller, you know, suspenseful movie. It's just, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Northman to me is still like, it's not a horror movie, but it's very scary. Just, you know, just the whole journey of it all is so intense. It's similar to Vinland Saga, where there's just so much violence and everything's so unpredictable that it's scary.
That volcano fight doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, that's a great fight. Who is he fighting in that? Who's like the other guy?
Like the actor?
Yeah.
I
don't even remember who's like the adversary there.
Wasn't it
It's probably Ralph Ineson.
Ethan Hawke? No,
I think Ethan Hawke was his father.
Gustav Linth? Klaas Bang? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was that guy.
I'm really praying that there's a question about something that's asked, but I won't say it until the questions are done or if the question's asked.
No, let's see if I can find it.
If you know me as well as you know me, Reuben, you'll know what I'm talking about that's popular right now.
Let's see. I don't really see a question that would fit that. No, I kind of just want you to say it now.
I'll say it at the end. We'll have people listen, maybe. If they haven't turned it off already, maybe they'll listen to, what did Nash want to talk about? And then when I say it, they're going to be like, wow, I hope this guy fucking gets hit by a truck.
Yeah, we should make a
this question here from Omar.
Omar Glaze?
I was saying we should make Nash watch Amelia Perez.
Oh my God.
I want to hear his take on that.
Talk about, I mean, maybe I just suck at judging movies because I liked Amelia Perez. And
I did. I was waiting to call you out on that, but I'll let you have, I like your opinion.
No, that's fair. You could call me out. It's all right.
What, the movie stinks on ice?
It's fucking awful. I gave it 2 stars, and like I think it's too generous now. But
Done.
It's
It will be watched this weekend.
I will say Zoe Saldana winning for the award, like she was like the best part of the movie, so I can't even get mad at that.
Yeah, she's so
Elma
fine.
was kind of a banger too. Yeah, 2
Just
stars,
real quick,
man.
The Substance.
I didn't. Well, yeah, The Substance is great. I also didn't think Amelia Perez was going to be like around for award season.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
really
wild.
liked it and enjoyed it, but I didn't think like it was going to be like making this much of a stink. It's like headed like full steam ahead towards the Oscars, but The Substance, they're saying Demi Moore's the favorite now, right?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna bet on it.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking back on it because obviously, like my whole head going into it was like, yeah, Mikey Madison, it's hers to lose, and then Demi won, and I was like, oh, cool, like a movie like that's getting acknowledged at the Golden Globes. Then I was like just thinking more about her performance, and like, yeah, she was actually really fucking good in that too.
Yeah, no, it's rare that a movie like that would be rewarded, but finally, it's like about time that people respect what it takes to star in a movie like that, to carry a movie like that.
There was a lot of reasons to pay attention to that movie.
Well, Margaret Qualley is
Good
she's
Lord.
one of our best Nepo babies. Yeah, and she's one of those who can be like, obviously she could be very sexy like a model, but she could be very creepy. And you know, she could get down in the dirt, and she doesn't limit herself to only playing, you know, like cute, funny characters.
Yeah.
You know, there's a quirkiness to her inherently. And,
This is gonna be her year. I
thought
that.
like as good as Emma Stone was in Poor Things, I think there's a timeline out there where Qualley leads the movie and gives just as good as of a leading performance.
Well, even her role in Poor Things is fucking. Oh, not Poor.
Right.
I'm thinking of.
No,
she is in Poor Things.
well,
yeah. But
yeah,
I was
no, she
thinking
is in
of
Poor Things.
what's the anthology movie? Fuck, I'm bad at remembering things today. The new one that just came out.
Oh, Kinds of Kindness. Yeah.
Kinds of Kindness. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was weird and great in that too.
Nash, watch Sanctuary and see if that does anything for you.
It's gonna get things jumping or what?
Oh my god.
I could.
She's gonna love Sanctuary.
Just want to see what you're into, man.
I was convulsing watching The Substance.
No, the Sanctuary.
I literally was doing what Lily Rose Depp was doing in Nosferatu.
You probably shouldn't
workout.
watch Sanctuary.
The workout scenes, I swear to God, my eyes were just rolling back. Good Lord.
Yeah, Sanctuary might change his life forever.
Yeah,
Don't
that
do
might
it
be
to me,
too
because
much,
then I'll
dude.
flatline at that point. If it's that good. Oh, boy.
That's like giving the zoo animal like a taste of like your hamburger. Like he's never gonna get that high again. It just goes fucking crazy.
Zoo animal.
Tiger just won't stop gnawing on the fucking bars. He used to be so chill.
So yeah, somebody gave the lion a BK melt.
The fucking sign right there says, "Don't give the lion the BK melt." Fucking Americans can't read anymore.
I'm fucking crying. Oh. What did Omar even ask?
Omar asked, what makes a monster movie better than average?
Don't tell me it was the bacon Whopper melt. Oh, no big deal. He just had one of the spicy Whopper melts. No, it was the bacon Whopper melt. What did you just say?
I can't see. I'm fucking crying. BK melt.
I don't know
baby.
why, but I feel like you got to bring in the Costco guys for this bit.
Somebody paid them because their brother died, and he's like,
Oh
"We
my
just wanna
God,
tell you a
yeah.
story. We're gonna give your dead brother 5 booms." Oh my god. There's just
It's like
something
fucking letting the
money-
cannons go, bro. Like, you know when they do the cannons for like military?
Yeah.
That's how I want to go.
The 5 boom salute.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? That'd be a fucking honor.
Boom! Boom! Everyone's crying.
The bagpipes.
The
Rizzler on the bagpipes.
Just hearing booms in between bagpipes.
Matt Damon from The Departed. Yeah, I just want to put it on the record. I'm going to recommend him for the
Middle merit.
for the boom for 5 booms on the boom meter.
I just want to go on record.
Just want to go on record. I recommend it for 5 booms.
I'll tell you what, man, the Rizzler is going to have a huge drug problem when he grows up. You want to talk about hitting a high that you're never going to hit again? Nobody's going to care about him in about 5 years. And being a child star, it's the worst thing that can happen for that poor kid.
Rizzy baby, it's over when I flex the jaw and I could steal her. Terry Bradshaw. Come on, man.
Ooh.
Don't
Throw
do
the
it
fries
to
in
a
the bag. No, already ate them. That's a bar and a half right there.
That's a great one.
Objectively, he had good presence on the mic. Him and Leangelo Ball. A lot of unexpected musical talents.
What do you think about that? You think that that's actually pretty good or what?
It is. It's objectively like a good 2006 hip hop song.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that came out with like Lil Jon, yeah, it feels like a throwback.
Gives me like a lot of Nelly vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like fun, like mid 2000s. You know, it feels very like influenced by that Houston Southern sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love it, but I think it's like good enough to warrant going viral.
It's fun.
Just unexpected.
Whoa, whoa.
I love this guy. Big Daddy Mark.
Oh, he already did one?
Yeah.
Mustard.
You see the meme?
God, yeah,
It's
that
Jello
guy
and
kills it.
Jello in the corners, like they have no idea I might swerve, and the people dancing. It's like he looks like he might bend that corner. He might. Whoa!
Oh, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I think for above average horror movie, you know, it just needs to good
What
or
was the
monster
question?
movie. Good monster. Practical effects, you know, got to be memorable. Fun performances, cool visuals, some thrills, some scares, twists and turns. What makes a monster movie better than average?
I mean, a good like you have to have a
Scary.
good monster.
Jump scares.
People would argue against jump scares. I think if they're earned time and place, they can't be your main source of fear. Which it looks like that Wolfman movie might just be jump scare city.
Dude, looks pretty good. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, Invisible Man was really good. I liked Invisible
Fantastic.
Man. So
Oh yeah, Invisible Man was so good.
It's very good.
What happened to Elizabeth Moss? She doesn't do anything anymore.
yeah, she was like in everything for like 3 months that one time.
Yeah, she was killing it. She was like the scream queen.
But yeah, a good monster can carry. It can
Godzilla,
carry a
baby.
movie. Well,
Just be Godzilla.
I mean, dude, Godzilla -1, I think. Between Nosferatu, I mean, I didn't love Nosferatu, obviously, but between Godzilla -1 and Nosferatu, it's proving that, and I think we've known this for a long time, but if you really try to get people to connect with the characters and care about the characters, it's just going to elevate all those scary moments. Obviously, those moments still need to be big and epic and well crafted, but it's just, you know, that added sympathy and that added attention that the audience is paying to these characters. It goes a long way. And I think they're both movies that, like, you can substitute the metaphor for something, what it actually is, and they still really work well.
Indeed.
Godzilla -1. I'm moving that up to my best movie of all time.
Have you seen that, Nash?
No, I haven't.
It's on.
Oh, you would have a
something.
lot of fun with that.
I think it might be on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'll let it rip.
Oh, it's fucking.
That is
incredible.
I've been on my
all-time
movie shit
great
lately.
Godzilla movie. Let's see. Let's take somebody asked, I forget who it was. Oh, Rodrigo, best Nosferatu. I think for me it's still the original. I think the Herzog one is good, but a little overrated because of how good Klaus Kinski is as Nosferatu. He's the best Nosferatu, but
It's surprisingly the best rated one.
Yeah, no, people love Herzog's. Like, I think it's good. I think I rewatched it recently, gave it 3.5.
Yeah,
but my favorite is Coppola's Dracula. That one is just bonkers. That's pure ecstasy.
Whoa.
And Gary Oldman is, arguably the greatest actor of all time. So, and he's just so good in that movie.
I got a Letterboxd question.
All right, go on.
So New Year's Day, I was just lounging watching Harry Potter all day. But like in and out, like I fell asleep a couple times. I got some food a couple times, but I was just leaving it on. It was on TV. Does that count?
I think it could count. Yeah.
I didn't log them, but
yeah, why not?
Some integrity.
I'll give it to you.
I see sometimes people will log something like, "Oh, I watched this while I was like wrapping presents for the kids, and or I was doing like tasks."
Look, I was on my phone, but all right. Next time.
I feel like if I put on, because I can never throw on movies in the background. Also, it's because I don't have cable. So I feel like if I had cable, that'd be more of a like flip through the channels. This movie's on. But my background noise is always YouTube, which I always get the instinct to log everything on Letterboxd now. Even when like if I watch a YouTube video, like I'm like pulling up Letterboxd, like what the fuck am I thinking? I can't log this. Or if I finish like a book,
where is it?
Where did I log this?
Did I spell beast wrong? Why isn't it popping up?
It's the first things first. Mahomes Mountain. Where is this? There should be like 50 of these on here. What the fuck? I keep waiting for my Vinland Saga review on Letterboxd to be zapped off, but they've kept Vinland Saga on Letterboxd, even though they've came out with season 2. Usually they yeet you out of there.
I don't think limited series belongs on Letterboxd. Either allow everything or. So
I like limited series because there's like classic directors who made limited series that are so iconic and influential. I feel like they belong there. So it's kind of like you have to bring them all on board. Like The Return, it's cool that The Return's on Letterboxd. And it's got like a 4.5 rating. That means something to me. This shit means something to me, man. It's me and my grandkids. Oh, okay. We'll take a last question here, and then we'll get to what Nash was chomping at the bit about.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised. Is this just strictly Nosferatu questions?
No. We can take some other ones. We'll take 2 more. One from Rusty. Favorite courtroom movie that's not named 12 Angry Men. Honestly, right now I'm going with Juror number 2 because I actually love that movie.
Few Good Men.
I had so much fun with it. That's a good one.
And Liar Liar.
Liar. That's a good one.
Yeah, in your bra. Okay, 135.
Good courtroom dramas. I always a sucker for a good courtroom drama.
Oh, My Cousin Vinny.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be up there.
The first couple episodes of the John Adams series.
Yeah, very controversial supporting those troops.
Yeah,
Man of Integrity, though.
A Few Good Men is a great movie just to put on. I had a thought the other day. I was watching. Well, this was yesterday actually. I was watching Heat. Are there some movies to you that just like are outside of like they don't seem real?
Would you say Heat's one of those movies?
Like Heat, Goodfellas, A Few Good Men. Dude, my memory fucking shot. Andy Dufresne,
Shawshank, yeah.
It's
Even
like
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, like they're almost like outside of. Maybe Heat isn't one. I guess the whole De Niro, Pacino, like they like
Casino.
exist outside of reviewable movies.
They kind of speak for themselves.
Well, like, and I don't even particularly think all those movies I just named are like 5-star masterpieces, but like they're in their own category of just like
it's like classic, the Tony Scott type of films, like Top Gun, Man on Fire, Deja Vu,
just very of
like
that
man
era.
Movies.
Yeah,
like sit and stand up the entire time with your arms crossed.
It's just it's like the TNT movie. That's going to be on all the time. Like Heat, I honestly don't think I've ever watched it front to beginning until yesterday.
Oh yeah, that lives on TNT.
But I've seen it.
No, the iconic scenes like the shootout and when they meet at the restaurant and
what did I
Val Kilmer.
He's the best.
It's only the second movie they did together. No, but that was like what was I
It's like God, you once said something about like Jordan, like you don't even think he was real.
Oh yeah, no, like Independence Day. I get that feeling.
Yeah,
like just like the whole Like it was so big as a kid, everybody loved it. It's like Will Smith has that sort of aura too. Which is he just feels like removed from the real world, like he is like on a higher plane. And yeah, Jordan feels very mythical too. But Jordan's the best example of that, of a guy whose career just feels like so neatly packaged.
If anybody
it feels
else,
like PR.
Yeah. If anyone listening can like put this in better words, I can't really find the words to describe how I feel, but it makes sense in my own head.
I know what you're
Simulation
saying.
is bothering you.
Yeah. By the way, that one of the best shots of all time at the end, in the when the plane's going over and the lights come up on Pacino's face after he shoots De Niro.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Michael Mann, dude.
Back when it meant
knows
something.
What he's doing. I feel like Carry On kind of felt like those old movies. It was a bit of a throwback.
Hear
like
nothing
fun
but good
little
things about it.
Stupid thriller.
Well, Carry On's just a fun movie. Like it's just riddled, like the dialogue, and it's very like AI write an endearing story about a couple. But then everything else added is super fun, so it doesn't matter. But it was so hallmarky in the beginning and in the end. Or the way like he interacts with his wife.
Yeah, she was good. Sophia Carson. Shout out. Oh, this question here from Gorilla. Last question. Whose career would you rather have, Chris Evans or Sebastian Stan? Evans will always be Cap, but Stan is getting all the acclaim.
Oh yeah, I was going to make that point earlier. Like, I feel like Best Actor should be, because with Nicholas Hoult with Juror Number 2 and Nosferatu, even though he wasn't the best, as good in Nosferatu, just like they should do a Best Actor of the Year should be someone who it should count across multiple films.
Right, yeah.
Like Sebastian Stan for A Different Man and Apprentice should be he's the Best Actor of the year. Don't give me no Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, you could argue that.
Chris Evans did not another.
But you know what?
He already won.
Brody in The Brutalist is a performance where I'm like,
oh yeah.
I've stopped caring about who wins, but that one's become very personal for me. I'm like, he's got to. And same thing with Guy Pearce, actually.
Oh yeah, that's the more like, obviously Adrian Brody should win, but just how Guy Pearce isn't even like really being considered anymore is crazy to me.
I mean, we're getting pretty close, but I think that could change. But that one's weird because he is like I said, Brody was incredible, but Guy Pearce is the best performance of that movie, the best performance of the year for me. And The Brutalist, I mean,
yeah.
The best opening shot maybe in the history of film, the best opening scene.
Yeah, I remember when you guys used to shit on Brody.
I just think was it Splice? Just a hilarious movie to do after winning an Oscar.
Yeah, he was dipping his toes in the water, man. Leave him alone.
No, I mean he's definitely got like he when he's in his sad boy emotional bag, he thrives.
The Family Guy bit, the 3D movie of Adrian Brody doing sit-ups.
Yeah, they were funny. Yeah, but I would rather be Sebastian Stan because Chris Evans he's struggling to find good roles. And the Hive being Cap is awesome, but
and the money.
Like if I'm an actor, I would the money's great. But Stan, to be able to keep busy, to be doing what you love, getting these leading performances where they're not major movies, but they're critically acclaimed. You get a chance to play different types of characters, really flex your skills. I mean, there's really not much more you can ask for. And I think Sebastian Stan is a better actor than Chris Evans. Chris Evans is good. But Stan has just shown more versatility and more of a willingness to put himself out there in projects that may or may not work.
Yeah, but the money.
Right. Yeah. Now I think Chris Evans, it's just,
but the money,
like he wants to be a Tom Cruise. There's nothing wrong with being a Tom Cruise type, but the movies that he's done after Endgame, just besides Knives Out, haven't been that good. Like the Red One movie was horrible. The Russo brothers action film was somehow worse than Red One. Like he's been in some awful, awful movies.
The Ana de Armas rom-com.
Oh yeah, holy shit! And then he was in like one of those, emotional movies. It was just weird,
Yeah, I mean, as an actor, money aside, like respecting your art and the roles you pick, it's Sebastian Stan. I mean, like we said, 2 great performances this year already.
That scene, the karaoke scene, man. His face was amazing.
That's just like,
bro was flabbergasted.
And he does also have the Marvel bag too, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and he's got like the most. Everybody loves that character, and it seems like they're still finding ways to, do new things with that character. Like he's going to be in the Thunderbolts, if that ever comes out.
Well, it's a more interesting character too, and like even in the best movie, like The Winter Soldier, I think Bucky Barnes is definitely a more interesting character than Captain America in there.
Yeah, just naturally more interesting. No, he really lucked out with that, man.
Even in
his performance as Trump was great. Yeah, I never saw Fresh, but
it was good in that.
No, it was acclaimed.
Oh yeah, we talked about that like a month ago. He was very good in The Apprentice. Like it got weird for me. Like when I was looking at him, like as the film went on, the more resemblance, and he kind of like morphed into him with the mannerisms.
In such a subtle way, he absolutely nailed it. He just really captured the emptiness of Trump. His eyes just became dead.
But it's like the movie
went along.
Like the more you look at something, the more you see something else. Like when that still came out of him and Jeremy Strong, like the first promotional, I'm like, oh, like it doesn't really look too much like him, which I don't care about. Like I don't think resemblance has to be the main factor when doing a portrayal of somebody real. But it's like from the beginning until the end, like the more I stared at him, the more it kind of just morphed together.
All right, Nash, what was it that you wanted to possibly get a question about?
How haven't we talked about Joy Taylor?
Oh, come on.
Well, how's that not been mentioned at all?
Peanut butter skin with what do you say?
With those fat cans.
Oh my God.
Dude, like, so what do you really think about that whole situation?
First of all, Jason Whitlock being like, it wasn't me because, I didn't want it. It's such a insane cope.
It's so funny, bro.
Yeah, right. Like that's like the really fat, like ugly looking guy just saying like that girl's mid over there. Because there's no shot, so he's calling the girl ugly. Then Jason Whitlock could not even sniff a candle next to that woman. The whole thing behind it, like with Skip Bayless offering that hairstylist $1.5 million for sex,
allegedly.
It's just like, yeah, right. Like that's crazy, man. What kind of lawsuit? First of all, I got to see what this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what this woman looks like. But $1.5 million to have sex with anybody?
I'd fuck Skip Bayless for $1.5 million.
You would?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a lot of money.
$1.5 million.
No questions asked. Dude, that LeVar Ball clip when he said that the only thing Whitlock's qualified to talk about is snacks.
And yeah, talk about like the worst analyst of all time.
Oh, yeah. And he used to be respectable. Because I remember watching him as a kid. He used to substitute on PTI all the time. And he was just normal. And then he turned out to be such a creep. That is always funny, like when the worst person loves to just throw themselves in the middle of a scandal. Like, buddy, we don't like you. And they're like, oh, see? Look, I wasn't named in this. But, I would fuck her. Like, thanks, Jason Whitlock. Like this doesn't involve you whatsoever. Just throw yourself right in the middle of it.
And I mean, again, too, like her brother was a professional football player. Like, come on, a very good one, not to mention. So
yeah, very good.
He was fantastic.
Who was her brother?
Jason Taylor.
No shit.
Yes.
Former Jet.
There you have it.
Are you guys bringing back Rex Ryan?
I don't fucking know anymore.
They interviewed him, huh?
Yeah.
And he said, if I'm Jets head coach, I'll end the Rogers Country Club. Oh, Rex.
Yep. I don't even know at this point. I don't even really care.
I trust Brick Johnson.
He'll care like a week. Team. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. You guys are losing Woody, so things are going to be looking up.
Yeah, his 13-year-old son's going to run the team.
I love the idea of you guys not being Trumpers, but like you're like, maybe suspend the Constitution. Let him run a couple more terms. Keep Woody in London.
No, he's not going back to London.
Oh, he's not? He's sticking
No,
around?
He's staying. Yeah.
Wow. Trump fucked him? Or I guess he maybe just doesn't want to do that anymore. Damn.
That's it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Bring back Rex.
All right, well, you have it there. Aaron is endorsing the return of Rex Ryan to the New York Jets. Nash doesn't care. I'm sure he'll care by the time the draft comes along. And for me, the Giants are getting Cam Ward, so things are looking up. But that's our review, and that's the end of our podcast. We're going to leave it here. We went for, decent time. Our big return for the new year. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you like, share, and leave your comments on Nosferatu and the world of sports talk, television, all the scandals, and whatever else is on your mind.
And fat cams. Yeah, I think we can end it there, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll end it there. Nice fat tomato cans.